Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and man, Hollow Knight Silksong has really caused a stir in the gaming community. The game currently on Steam is sitting at a very positive reception, 91% positive. However, there are certainly a lot of people that do have their issues with the game, specifically difficulty, running back throughout the game, etc., etc. Whenever you bring up difficulty in a video game, it definitely gets a little bit crazy. I feel like more than anyone, or more than a lot of people, I don't want to say more than anyone, but I've very much been trumpeting the, it's okay to not be great at video games, but at the same time, I don't call for every game to implement some sort of easy difficulty. I let whatever the developers feel that their vision of a game is. If their vision of a game is that this game is supposed to be super hard, great. If it's too hard for me, if I can't figure the game out and it's way too challenging, I just won't play the game. There's a billion games coming out, or I'll drop the game. If I drop a game, is that the end of the world? No, but I like to be transparent about that fact that, you know what, I'm not the greatest player at video games, and for a long time, I would be a little bit insecure about the fact that my buddies would jump on me, especially in the beginning days of like the lockdown, where I feel like so many people were getting into Souls-like games, and when Elden Ring came out, like all my buddies were steamrolling through it, and I was just generally having a hard time on it, and people would, in a friendly way, they would pick on how trash I was at Elden Ring when it first came out, and a lot of the Souls-like games, and I've been playing these Souls-like games for a long, long time, and I feel like my skills at these games literally over the years have like deteriorated to an exponential degree. I feel like my skills at video games in general, to be honest, have deteriorated to an exponential degree, and that might be a factor of getting older, doing other things, playing more video games in general, and not focusing on a specific game. But then, when you really think about it, people roasting you about video games, whoa there, dude, you're better at a video game than me, congrats. We build it up as this huge thing, and I get it that we're living on the gaming community on the internet. Like, obviously, people are gonna talk about being good at video games, but guess what? It's not the end of the world. You're better at a video game than me, dude. Whoa there, buddy. Like, congrats. I hope that's really meaningful for you. And if you're great at a game, that's awesome. Like, congrats. But like, you know what? I'm okay with saying that a lot of these games I am trash at. I just played First Berserker Kazan. You know what I did on that game? Played it on the easy difficulty, and I enjoyed it a lot more. But nonetheless, it seems like Silksong has that debate going on right now as well, as far as the game being a little bit too difficult. And there is that idea of the get good component of video games these days, just wiping away any level of maybe unfair difficulty that is being criticized as well. Now we just want to blanket everything as, okay, this game has unfair difficulty. Oh, get good. If anybody has criticism for the difficulty spikes, things that are fundamental with game design, it's now tied to, oh, just get good at this game. Like, that's all you gotta do, bro. Get good. But then, doesn't that wash away any sort of criticism that people could have that's tied to a difficult aspect of the game, but that's also a fundamental flaw of game design as well? But now we can't have those discussions anymore because they're just countered with, you just gotta get good, pal. That's all you gotta do. And I'm not here to break down the meticulous aspects of Hollow Knight Silksong and its game design, because you know what? I'm not the person to do that. That's why I don't do it with the Souls-like games, as well as being the person that's gonna meticulously break down all of the mechanics of Souls-like games. I talk about game deals on this channel. You know what I could break down? If a game is worth this price point or not, I can meticulously break that down. Oh, this game could go for that price. Oh, yeah. That's my wheelhouse. Me meticulously breaking down difficulty scaling and difficulty spikes and things all like that. Not my wheelhouse. However, Silksong has certainly gotten that level of criticism, and there's an IGN article up right now with a lot of posts on various social media platforms. There are the social media platforms where a user said, is it just me, or are some of the things that make Silksong difficult just cruel? The game has artificially inflated difficulty and playtime due to overtuned numbers and menial task runbacks. I really do believe, and let me go on a tangent, I really do believe the inflated difficulty options and the emergence resurgence of the popularity of Souls-like games is because they give you this artificial playtime a lot of the times. I'm not saying this specifically with Silksong, but I feel like with a lot of these challenging games, based on their difficulty, based on the fact you fight the same bosses over and over again, the Steam hour counter, oh my god, I got 50 hours out of this game, I got 40 hours out of this game. How much of that was just you figuring out the mechanics of a boss fight? Like, is that actual content? I mean, sure, like, you got your playtime out of it, but I just feel like it's a way to say, oh, our game is 40 to 50 hours long, or give you that perception that a game is longer than it is. Again, not specifically tied to Silksong. Silksong, it seems to be this utilization of menial tasks and running back, but I do feel like there is that element of game design these days of trying to artificially inflate game runtime while not actually adding meaningful content or creating very challenging areas, so you'll have the repeated attempts at boss fights. And, you know, people are into that, more power to them, but I do think there is that aspect as a game designer and releasing a video game that, hey, we're releasing a $60 game. How do we make this game give players 50 hours of content, but we don't actually want to make all of this side content, optional activities, etc., etc.? Well, the Souls-like archetype is just gonna have people fighting the same bosses again and again, and, you know, that'll add to their playtime. You guys get what I'm saying? And then obviously when you have points like that, a lot of that is people reducing those complaints to, oh, the game isn't babying you, the game is challenging, get good, player. And you know what? If that's what Team Cherry wants the game to be, and Hollow Knight, the original, was a difficult game, more power to them. But I do think there is that conversation that could be had of games being difficult and it being a deterrent as far as why it's difficult. What are the design choices that are made making it difficult, instead of just washing all of those it's too difficult complaints away with a get good kid. And definitely there is that get good element. I wouldn't say something about, like with the Souls-like games that I complain about, so to speak, I understand that a lot of that is me just needing to get good. Like, I totally get that. Elden Ring, it was a total, bro, you need to get good. But at the same time, I do think there are times when games are trying to go way too crazy on the difficulty scale, and it should be a discussion at least worth having. And ultimately, if one user is wrong about it, oh, the design isn't bad, but at least let there be a conversation that plays out outside of it just devolving into, oh, you just gotta get good, pal. Which, you know, sometimes that is what it needs to devolve into, but you get the idea. And there is this debate that is going on around Silksong right now, and I think it goes back to just these super challenging games in general, and I do think it is a little bit of a divisive topic. I do see this, there being this burnout of, bro, every single Jeff Keighley event that happens, why are there 84 Souls-like games that are being revealed? Like, I like my Souls-like games every now and again, but it seems like every developer is going the route of making these, you know, challenging Souls-like games. It's just left and right. It's what all of these games are. It's Souls-like games, and it's live service games, and I feel like there is a little bit of a burnout on these super difficult games. At the same time, nobody's forcing you to play these games. I totally get that. There are other games to play, so on and so forth, but it does sometimes feel like sometimes that challenge is designed in a way that people don't even appreciate. Like, there's one thing about a game being difficult, but at the same time rewarding, and then there's just design choices being made, and some of that with Silksong and the double damage and things of that nature does seem to be irritating people. Again, I'm not the person to break down all of these mechanics. However, I do think it would be a good position to be in, of people at least being open to the conversation of maybe these mechanics aren't ideal, maybe more difficulty options wouldn't be a bad thing across games. And it does come down to a little bit of that aspect of what is the vision of the developers. And let me also say this, Silksong very much having the same element that Elden Ring had. And what do I mean by that? Silksong came out with a lot of buzz where a lot of people just ended up picking up the game. They never played the original Hollow Knight. They didn't know what to expect really out of Silksong. They just jumped into it and they're like, hey, this game has so much buzz, it's $20, let me just play it. Same thing happened with Elden Ring in the sense that George R.R. Martin was involved. The game had so much buzz. It was like the biggest biggest game of 2022, and a lot of people that have never played a Souls-like game, I remember as Elden Ring was coming out, me getting literal messages from people asking me if Elden Ring was like Skyrim, and I'm like, buddy, you do not know what you're getting yourself into if you're comparing Elden Ring to Skyrim. But a lot of people checked out Elden Ring, they were taken aback by how difficult the game was, and it just wasn't a game that they ended up enjoying. I very much believe that the same thing is happening with Hollow Knight, maybe to a smaller scale, although Hollow Knight is peaking at north of 500,000 players. But Elden Ring, it is very interesting when you go to the like Steam achievements section and you see how many people have like certain achievements. And you can tell that a significant amount of people fall off from the game fairly early on. Again, I think there is a little bit of people getting caught up on the hype, not knowing what they're getting into, and then just getting absolutely obliterated by the game as well, when, you know, there should have been a level of challenge that was to be expected. But I digress. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I know I'm a little bit all over the place, and whenever we talk about game difficulty these days, I get a little bit heated because I feel like it's a topic worthwhile talking about, especially I feel like as my contemporaries, a lot of people that are around my age, they're getting older. They've got their 9 to 5. They've got families. They've got kids. They don't have the time to spend hours upon hours getting infuriated at games anymore, damn near breaking a controller and figuring out all the mechanics. And to that, you could respond, hey, then these games aren't for them. Go tell them to play City Skylines or something like that. And you know what? You might be right about that, but it seems like a lot of game development these days is focused on the challenging Souls-like title, so I think it's a worthwhile discussion to have, because, again, I swear, every Jeff Keighley event, whether it be Summer Game Fest, games, oh my god, here's another Souls-like game. Oh, you guys know this studio that made Ghost Runner? Well, they're now doing a Souls-like game. How about that? You know, it just seems like we get Souls-like games left, right, and center. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.